prosthesis. And prosthesis is a trend. So 10 years ago, we used some gold crowns, and after that, gold prices rise up, and we changed the porcelain piece to metal, but we found some chipping of the porcelain. So nowadays, we found the zirconia or monolithic ceramics. So nowadays, many clinicians using the zirconia prosthesis or IMEX crown. It's a trend. I don't know, 10 years later, trend. But using that, we obtain functional aesthetics. So many our teacher or great dentist scholars say, if you want to place the implant in the right position, you have to imagine the final goals, right? After imaging the final goal, we have to place the implant. This is called as a top-down treatment concepts. Another way we call this as a prosthetic treatment concepts. So 10 or 20 years ago, many surgeons placed the implant. After that, most prosthodontists take a hard time to make final prosthesis. That is a surgical-driven concepts. But nowadays, many scholars say prosthetic-driven concept is more better for the functional aesthetics. So many clinicians make some diagnostic extra and duplicator and make the stent and place the implant, but it is very difficult things, complex, difficult things. So our aim is how to make that kinds of the complex thing make it easy using CAD/CAM technologies. Actually, many Korean people suffer from the low implant position. Not only Korean issues, right? It's all of the world issues. Anyway, we have to place implant in right positions. So many young dentists in Korea are disappointed about their hand, and they blame a lot of things. Especially, they blame some special, some system, right? If I use another system of implant, I can get a nice result. In my opinion, that is incorrect, right? So nowadays, almost the implant system is the same. They have some differentiations, but actually their success rate is almost over 95 or 97%. So most important thing is our hand and our head. It means make some diagnosis and make some treatment planning. It's more important. Make some strategy is more important things. Finally, they say like this, when I place the implant like this, how? If you're using the technologies, some technologies, we can do this. Furthermore, when we meet some complex patients, not only implant dentistry, but also some deformities, or nasal jaw surgeries, or orthodontics, we collect a lot of diagnostic informations, but we can find one very difficult things. That is the dimensional differentiation. It means this stone cast is the real object in the three-dimensional view, but when we're taking the photo, we see the only two-dimensional views. So when you're taking this kind of the X-ray, it's a two-dimensional view, but a lot of image is overlapped. So it is very difficult things. Anyway, using these kinds of the diagnostic data, we make these kinds of the image in our brain, in our head. After that, we can make the treatment plannings. But if we make this kind of the image, our diagnosis and the treatment planning is very easy. So nowadays, we have to change the thinking way as a digital thinking way. It is very useful method to us. For this kind of the digital technology, we have to understanding two issues. One is the CBCT. CVCT is very useful diagnostic tool because one shot taking the CVCT, we obtain a three-dimensional bone information and soft tissue information. And the best merit of the CVCT is we can cut up inside of the bone and we can see the large anatomic structure. So CVCT is a very useful diagnostic tool. And the other is the CAD/CAM system. CAD/CAM is very, very useful to us, not only to us, but also to lab technicians. Actually, as a dentist, we cannot understand the CAD/CAM exactly, but our purpose is very simple. Using a CVCT, using a CAD/CAM system, we always want to the nice product, right? So we don't care about the intraoral scan or extraoral scan. Actually, CAD/CAM is the laboratory's job, not our jobs. Many Korean company nowadays sales the CEREC system to the dentist. How many people has a lab technician in your laboratories? Only one. Without lab technician, if you buy the CEREC system, it is very, very terrible things. You have the time to design the tooth. You have the time to trimming the inlay or crowns. Instead of the CEREC system, you have to bounce the Maserati or Mercedes. It is more exciting things to your mental health. So actually, many companies nowadays very commercially sales about their CAD/CAM system to the dentist. But I don't agree about the strategies. Anyway, we want to the nice product. So CAD/CAM workflow is very simple. You have to remember the STL files. STL file means this kind of the digital image. If you obtain this kind of the digital image using a CAD/CAM system, you draw anything. After that, using the machines, product some real object. This is the not stone cast. This is the 3D model, and this is the 3D printing denture. So method is changed. Our ordinary job is unchanged. Just we call to the laboratory and drawing some prosthetics and show me using the iPhone or the TeamViewer. After that, we confirm the design and then they produce using machines. So how we can obtain the STL files? That is a scanner. Most popular way is the using a model scanner. And nowadays, many companies says about the intraoral scanner, but intraoral scanner has some limitations. Maybe 5 years later, it will much developed, but until now, it has some limitations. We cannot using this intraoral scanner in full mouth reconstruction case because there's some stitching algorithms. So the best simple way is take an impression and make a stone model and send the stone model to the digital laboratory and digital laboratory scan using a model scanner. So we don't need it. We don't need the digital facilities. And just our job is find where is our most favorable digital laboratories and send stone cast there. It's the most simple things. So, based upon these two digital data, we make some new hybrid images. This is not only CT, but also the scan data. So the best way is merging two data. Using this, we can make some amazing things. We can save the times and there is no complexity. That is the AutoCAD system. So merge the STL file and CVCT is the basic principle of the AutoCAD system. So today I have 4 hours. So I will show you the future. Not only implant dentistry, but also using using ArtGate. What can we do in a near future? After that, in implant dentistry, we can image one things. So after taking an impression and taking a CBCT, after that, if we make these kinds of the drill guide, we can very easily drilling, right? We call this kinds of the surgery as a guide static surgeries. So many company advertisement as a navigation surgery, but academically, navigation is incorrect word. Then for using the navigation system, we have to use the GPS system. So nowadays, many European or States country develop about the true navigation systems. But this kinds of the guided surgery is called as a static guided static implant surgery. Static means once we made this kinds of the drill guide, we cannot change the drill pathway. That's why, because we called this as a static implant surgery. Anyway, using a virtual planning program, we can place the implant. After that, we make this kinds of the drill guide. After that, after drilling, we place the implant through the guide. It is one of the most safe ways. And using this kinds of the guide and this kind of the special carrier, we can control the implant vertical depth and the internal hex positions. So it is almost, using this, we can place the implant in almost the same as the virtual status. Not 100% correct, but it is acceptable in clinical situations. And then, like this. This is the virtual status, and this is the real status. After that, we image one more things. After placing the implant, if we obtain a very nice initial stability, we can connect in the prosthesis immediately, right? So, using these two scientific ways, not subjective ways, this is very objective ways. What is the most subjective way to the checking the initial stabilities? Using your mirror, right? And hearing the sound. Oh, this is a very nice, clear sound. It is good initial stability. It's an experience-based way, not scientific way. So most scientific way has only two. One is checking the insertion torque value, and the other is using the Ostermantel or perio test. We can checking the implant stabilities. But many articles say ISQ is better than the perio test, right? So, yeah, now we using these two methods, insertion torque value checking and ISQ value checking. If these two signs say your implant has a good initial stabilities, using a CAD/CAM technology, we connecting the pre-publicated, customized provisional restoration immediately. It's very nice things. We call this concept as a one-day implant concepts. It's a kind of the image, thinking, and our job is making this imagination into a reality. So, I'll show you one case. This young guy losing central ring side cells. So using an AutoGate system and digital technology, we tried one-day implant systems. So the first step is changing this image into a digital image. That is the scanning, right? So in this case, I take the impression and make a stone model and send this stone model to our laboratory. And in our laboratory, they're using a scanner and they make the digitalization like this. After that, I order the one things. I have to see the final image. What's that? Clinically, that is the diagnostic vector, right? So, using a CAD program, our lab technician drew the one final restoration image. And you can see some insufficient tissue here and here. Anyway, this is our final goals. And then, based upon this final goal image, we can make the implant positions. But it is a long way, right? Why? We cannot see the bone. We cannot see the bone information. So anyway, we need the bone information. The best way to obtain the bone information is taking a CBCT, right? So I taking a CBCT and place the implant in the right positions, favorable positions. But these two images has some different dimensional view. The best way is merging, right? So two images merged. How about this image? It is very good for very intuitive method. So you can see the bone, not only bone, you can see the stone. Stone means the tooth and soft tissue profiles. So using our programs, we cut off the center of the implant like this. How about this image? It is very awesome because you can see the bone information and you can see the implant image, and also you can see the soft tissue profiles, and you also see the final restoration position. Using this kind of the image, you can do everything. You can place implant very easily using your computer mouse based upon your clinical concepts. So, in this case, I place the implant here. After that, evaluate the site condition. When I evaluate the site condition, I use John Coy's 5 diagnostic key. It's very, very useful method. So, let's talk about this 5 diagnostic key. Pre-gingival margin position is important things. So, how about this patient pre-gingival margin? It is more apically. So, this is the minor spectrum. But how about the gingival bone? It is a square. It's a prospector. And how about the biotime? Biotime means the thickness of the soft tissue and the thickness of the bone. How do we know? Using this image. How about the bone thickness? Bone is very thick. How about the soft tissue thickness? It is very thick gingiva. So thick bone and thick gingiva is good for the aesthetics. How about the tooth shape? It is square type. How about the osseous crest position? It is more coronal positions. So, except of the pre-gingival margin, these 4 factors say it is good for the favorable clinical condition. But most important thing is you have to place implant in a safety zone. It's very important things. So all of these 5 diagnostic key, among those 4 key factors say if we place implant in a favorable position, we can. It's a very natural thing. Automatically, we can obtain a nice clinical result. So, instead of the praying, we use the digital technology. So, I ordered the stent and placing the stent. After that, starting the drilling. It looks like the endodontic treatment. So, pick up the drills and just put in the stent and starting the drilling. Drill sequence is very simple. increasing the drill length first and increasing the drill diameter. 3.3 by 7. After that, degranulation of the tissue and put in a stent again and pick up the enrichment implant. 4.0 by 11 by 11.5 by 7, 5, and put in a place the fixture and matching the code. Using this kinds of special code, we can control the vertical position and X position, obtain a 50 Newton. I'm checking the insertion torque value and I obtain 50 Newtons. And checking the ISQ value again. This is also the mental, and I obtain a 70 and 68. So this side is good for the immediate loading, so directly connected the pre-publicated catechet prosthesis and screw tightening up using 20 Newtons. Surgery is finished. It takes about less than 30 minutes. If you are actually, it was taken 15 minutes. There is no suturing, there is no flap opening. Using this CT and the STL files, we already know the site conditions. So this condition is good for the planned surgery. So this is preoperative view and placing the provisional restoration, and I make some outer occlusions. That's why, because it looks like more short than adjacent tooth. But as I mentioned before, this patient pregingival margin is apically. But this patient biotype is very thick gingiva and thick bones. So in this case, if you control the subgingival contouring of the prosthesis, we can make this kinds of the creeping very easily. This is the understanding of the biotypes. After that, 3 months later, I changed the provisional restoration as a customized zirconia customized abutment, and this is the PMMA temperature. Once you connecting this kinds of the customized abutment, the implant prosthesis change into the same as the natural tooth prosthesis. So using a code, gingival code, place the gingival code and take impression, or using the intraoral scanning. After that, changing the outer crowns using Emacs. Don't worry about this kind of the black triangle. This is the stick biotypes. So just 1 day later, deal with the papilla, and we obtain this kinds of the clinical lesion. This is the virtual planning, and this is the real situation. How about the accuracy? Many articles say like this. When you're using the 3D printing guide surgery, the average deviation is around 2 degrees. It is acceptable to clinical situations. So you have to remember, even though we use these kinds of the high technology stents, there always happen errors. But this little amount of the error is acceptable in clinically. That's why, because I connecting the not final restoration, provisional restoration. Using a provisional restoration, we can easily correcting the errors. Anyway, our purpose is this. There is no stress about the implant position, because we already place the implant virtually before surgery stage. That is the very safe way to us. So 1 day implant is meaning immediate loading or immediate provisionalization, right? So many articles say For the successful immediate loading or immediate provisionalization, we have to consider these four factors. One is the implant design. They say we have to use taper-shaped implant, and surface is important, SLA or modified SLA types. And we have to consider the bone quality, quantity, and bone morphology. It's very important. And based upon this bone quality, we have to make some drill strategies. It means in a hard bone, we have to make some large bone preparation, but in soft bone, we have to make a small bone preparation and using the self-tapping abilities. After that, we have to control the occlusal force very carefully. If we keep these four rules, the immediate loading success rate is very high. Many articles say it is over 95%, right? So, in my presentation, there are a lot of controversy about the immediate loading or early loading or conventional loading, delayed loadings. But in my presentation, I use these kinds of the terminologies. So, immediate loading is during 1 week, if I connecting the provisional restoration, I call this is the immediate loadings, but early loading means from 1 week to 2 months, and over 2 months, I call the conventional loading. This is the article-based word, and they say delayed loading is no longer required. So please understanding these terminologies. So about the implant design, they say conical shape and SLA surface, and using these two power effects, we have to obtain over 7 Newton. It's very important things. So in our magazine, we developed these kinds of the nice implant. It's a taper shape and SLA surface and calcium incorporated. So we call this is an X-Fit surface. And this special implant has some unique shape, deep thread, very thin and deep thread. It is very good for the soft bones. So small preparation and using a high self-tapping abilities. But when we launched this kind of the one-day implant, actually we're launching this one-day implant concept 3 years ago. But we met some terrible failures. The failure sign is always the same. In 2 weeks, the prosthetic mobilities. Why? We have found the reasons that is closely related to the bone. Even though we obtain a high insertion torque value or high ISQ value, the bone quality is poor. It is not good for mechanical loadings. So in poor bone case, if you applied the immediate loading, you met a lot of high failure rate. So our main issue is this: how we can estimate the bone quality before surgery stages using the digital technologies. If we can easily found the bone quality, we can make some clear protocol for the immediate loadings. So from now, I will talk. Let me explain about bone quality and surgical techniques. So many articles say, especially in the immediate loading article about the immediate loading article, say like this: the cortical bone thickness is closely related to the insertion torque value or cardiothoracic value or ISQ value. So cortical bone thickness means, in my opinion, it's a hardness of the bone. It's very simple. If the bone hardness is higher, immediate loading is very safe. But if bone quality is poor, immediate loading, we cannot do the immediate loadings. But how we can know the bone quality? Fortunately, many articles say, using a CBCT image, we can estimate the bone quality. But this is the problems. Many CBCT shows us the pseudo how speed do you need? It's very, very important things. So many CBCT machine companies say, using our CBCT, we can say the how speed do you need. But articles say that is incorrect. But good news is the linear correlation is exists. So if you can make some nice algorithm using a CBCT, you can estimate the bone qualities.